All right, hey guys, Jason here. We're talking full-size trucks. What would be my number one full-size truck today? What would I get right now if I was buying a full-size truck? Wish I could say it was this one, but I can't. It's one simple reason. This truck, the Rebel, 2025 Rebel, absolutely amazing truck. Amazing deals on them. This has got the amazing Hurricane straight 6 turbo. Okay, in this truck. I love this motor, have high hopes for this motor. Gas mileage is not as good as I was hoping for, but I like it. I really like what this motor does. I'm a huge fan of an inline 6. However, this truck has got rear lockers, which is fantastic. It's got good tires on it. We got good size. We got the capability of really easily taking these up to 35s without a problem and doing some great things with it. The only problem with this truck is we do not have front lockers or a front limited slip. We are with a open differential in the front only, and it really does piss me off. But it's not just them. The only one that actually in a full-size truck that actually offers a true front locker is the Silverado ZR2. Silverado ZR2 is a little out of my price range for the most part, so it's kind of out of the ordinary what I could do. This I could get good deals on. I like this truck, but it's not going to fit. This would be an option, but not a preferred. Actually, there's only one truck that I could afford that I would be happy with in the full-size truck realm, and we're gonna go to a different dealer to see that. I'm gonna take you over there right now. But realistically, for that same money, I would go straight to this guy, which is a Ram 2500 Power Wagon. This is a true Power Wagon we're seeing here, but I would get it as a Ram Tradesman, 2025 Ram Tradesman with the Hemi in it, the V8 Hemi, and I would get it with the Power Wagon package because I could do it for like 52 grand, and I would get a truck that looks basically exactly like that, and I would yank these wheels off and put different wheels in 30. The only reason I do different wheels is because I need to change the offset to fit them, but I would put 37s on this however I had to. Minimum 35s, but most likely 37s are what I would put on this. But I would get it as a Ram Tradesman and skip right over the full-size version. But this video we are talking about what I would get as a full-size. Would love it to be that Rebel if they just put a front locker in it. Since they do not, we got to go to a different dealership. Let's go see. All right, well, they don't actually have a Tremor in a 150 here, but this would be what it would be in an F-150, would be the Tremor. Tremor would be the one I would be looking for because of what it gives us on the package. And also, if you watch my HD video, that would be my runner-up truck right there in a gas version. But you can see how big that is compared to that, hang on, with my lens, hang on. But you can see how big that is compared to the Ram Power Wagon as far as sheer size. Much bigger truck. I'd rather have the Power Wagon, plus I get the front locker, but the Power Wagon being a little smaller. That would be my runner-up in a Tremor version with the Torsen front end. But let's take a walk over there and see what we can find on the F-150 so I can show you similarly what an F-150 would look like. We'll talk about the Tremor setup. All right, now like I said, we don't have an actual F-150 Tremor here on the grounds, which is rare because usually this dealership does. They usually have a Tremor here. I've made many videos on them. But the Tremor in an F-150 version is going to give us a lot of nice features, okay? The F-150 is still one of my favorite full-size trucks. I like the build quality. I love the Coyote V8 motor in it. I also like the 3.5, and honestly, I've had 2 of them with the 2.7, and they've been fantastic too. So I like the motors, I like the trucks. Now, when you get the Tremor, you get the lower, you get rid of the front fascia on there, you get the more clearance in the front, you get the better tow hooks, you're gonna get the front Torsen limited slip differentials. You're going to get a little bit of a leveling kit on there, and you get the ability to put 35s on it very easy. So the XLT version of a Tremor would be the truck that I would get into. It's a step above like what you see here with an FX4 or here with an FX4. FX4 is off-road, it's nice, gives you the rear locker. It's a nice feature in there, but the Tremor is going to give you the front Torsen axles, lift that front end up a bit, get rid of some of that rake, let you put 35s on there, smaller wheel, more tire, and you're going to get the Raptor style running boards, more skid plates, more off-road worthiness, and that Tremor would be the only full-size truck that would fit my bill and my budget, because I could get that Tremor in an XLT for probably 57 grand, whereas going to a Silverado ZR2 would be awesome too, but it's also a lot harder to get bigger tires on a ZR2 or Silverado, okay? Trying to get 35s on them can be done, I believe, but I know it's a little trickier, but the price is the difference, okay? That price is $79,000, and then even if you were to knock 10 grand off, the price of that Silverado ZR2 is expensive. Is it an amazing truck? Yes, but honestly, like I said, with the Coyote motor, or even that 3.5 that's in here, I'm a real big fan of that motor. And in the F-150s, I've had 9 F-150s. I love the F-150 lineup. Okay, so if I'm buying full size, which again, I'm gonna skip right over it realistically, I'm going straight to a Power Wagon for less money. But if I had to get a full size, it would be an F-150 in a Tremor package in an XLT, and I would complain, piss and moan about having to use an actual key to start it all the time. I would not be happy about it. Like I said, probably the reason I would skip right over this, I've actually made videos on why I would just straight skip the full size and go straight to the HD. And realistically, this truck size-wise, dimensionally, is not much difference than the Power Wagon is, except for the Power Wagon being a little bit taller than a Tremor is. But realistically, they are not a lot different in size. But if I had to go full size, that's the full size we would do, would be a Tremor version, even though we don't have one here on a lot. But it would be a Tremor version of a F-150, because it is the only one that gives me, only full size other than ZR2, that gives me an actual dedicated, some sort of a system in the front end that is actually going to do the work for me. And I need that front end to work. I do not understand why truck makers today do not understand the value and the power of either limited slip in the front axle or a actual dedicated locker in the front end. I understand why a lot of them don't do it in the front end with a locker, because independent front suspensions are very weak. Okay, that's why the Silverado and the Sierra 2500, 3500s, they don't do it. It's why the Ford's got they used to run a Dana 60, Super 60 up there, and they could do it. I don't know why they didn't, but like independent front suspension is not designed for front lockers very good. CV axles don't handle front lockers very good, typically, especially put bigger wheels on them. Beauty of the Ram, the Power Wagon, is it is a solid front axle. Beauty of the Gladiator is a solid front axle. It can handle whatever kind of abuse you can throw at it in that front end. So we understand why it's done that way, but it sure would be nice if more manufacturers would put in that front locker, or at least a limited slip option, without you having to go to a Tremor or a ZR2 to get it. But that's the world we live in today. So anyway, that's my thoughts on full size. Let me know your thoughts. What would you pick?